Smart money is buying this Bitcoin dip now. We are seeing one of the biggest increases in Bitfinex longs in a very long time. And every single time we've seen this indicator move aggressively to the top side, we've seen the accumulation of a major dip in the market before eventually a big move higher. So we need to discuss exactly that within today's update video, because now big orders and big whales are starting to buy Bitcoin again, exactly on the bounce of the moving average 50 trend line. So let's talk about exactly that, but also a lot more Bitcoin charts and price data. I will give a big update on the latest news hitting the markets here. We will of course discuss my Bitcoin and Ethereum trading position and much more in today's update video. So first of all, make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube videos, and then we can dive into the most important content. Since big whales are going long on Bitcoin now, the Bitfinex long indicator is moving to the upside, and Bitfinex traders, big Bitfinex whales, are usually very smart and big traders which have been absolutely correct about this entire bull market, because what they usually do, they start building their long positions during a major dip for Bitcoin, like we saw in the 2024 phase, like we saw during the tariffs. During this capitulation, Bitfinex trades were going long, the smart money was accumulating, and after that, once the big move to the upside starts, the smart money is going to take profits. So as long as this indicator is going to be moving up, it is a very bullish sign and we should be accumulating the dip, or me personally, I am accumulating the dip. I've opened trading positions myself also, and once this indicator is going to come down ever so slightly again, first of all, that's a big indication that indeed we are in a move higher probably at that exact moment, and also indication that it is going to be time to be taking some profits, as this indicator from there is going to move lower once again, like we have seen every single time during these major pumps. Bitfinex whales have just been taking profits on their positions. So this is indeed very interesting, and now we are at a similar level like we have seen during all of the major corrections for Bitcoin. Basically, we are now over such a level that we probably have seen the biggest capitulation event for Bitcoin. So if another wave is going to follow, this should be the beginning and the starting point of exactly that. A very interesting indicator. With that in mind, we also have the Bitcoin spot average order size now showing that big whales are once again placing orders on Bitcoin. Big whales are accumulating, and that is exactly aligning with what I'm seeing with the Bitfinex whales here. So this is looking very good for Bitcoin in my personal opinion. The whales are accumulating during extreme fear once again, which is always a good idea during this bull market. Every single time we see the fear, we do know that those are probably and always the best buy opportunities. Something else I'm seeing which is very important is that Bitcoin is now bouncing on the weekly moving average 50 trend line. So smart money is accumulating once again at that 50 weekly moving average bounce. And what is going to be very important for Bitcoin here is the weekly close. We could of course still fall back below and close the weekly under the 50 weekly moving average trend line. If that's going to be the case for about 2 to 3 weeks, I think a bear market is going to get started like we saw in 2021. I'm purely looking at the weekly closes now for Bitcoin. So the upcoming days are going to be very important ones for Bitcoin, and the next 2 to 3 weeks, same can be said for that. So let's see, but for now, Bitcoin is showing quite a positive reaction, quite a big bounce back to the upside, which is also very nice for my trading position, but we will discuss that a little bit later. First of all, I want to zoom in on the short-term scenarios for Bitcoin, because this is what I'm currently looking at. Of course, I entered my Bitcoin position here in this orange zone and a little bit above it. Since then, we have been bouncing back up, which is of course amazing. I am still looking at this green zone for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is going to flip negative once again, turn bearish once again, I think this is also going to be a major accumulation zone between the 98 and 93k level. That is where my next limit orders of my Bitcoin trades are currently laying. So I will keep my eyes on that green zone also. I don't necessarily think that Bitcoin has to drop to those levels, but just in case, I'm going to be prepared for that scenario. And otherwise, if the bounce is just going to continue, I'm already with a position size of over 50k long on Bitcoin here. Then If there's going to be a bounce from off this zone or this zone, which I think is going to be likely, then I'm looking into this major resistance level for Bitcoin. Because every single time we get rejected from off this level, we see major drawdowns for Bitcoin. If we are going to break back above this level, I'm looking into new all-time highs or minimally new range highs. So 1 and 2 Bitcoin scenarios I do have here. Let's see about exactly that. Of course, all of this is going to depend a little bit if Bitcoin is going to hold the moving average 50 weekly here. Are we going to see the weekly closes below or above it? Because if it's going to be below, this short-term view is not going to be important anymore, and I might be closing my Bitcoin trades. But let's see about exactly that, and let's see how big the bounce is going to be. Like earlier explained, this could be somewhat of a shorter term Bitcoin trade if we are going to see somewhat of a dead cat bounce, for example. Let's see. I will keep you guys up to date on the channel, of course. We have the Bitcoin liquidation heat map here, and if we zoom out a little bit on the 30-day perspective, we have about 15 billion in short liquidity stacking up at the top side there, and there's almost no long liquidity left. So on the bigger perspective, max pain is going to be up for Bitcoin, and you can see exactly the same on the Bitcoin liquidation heat map on, for example, the 2 weekly. Big liquidation clusters are laying above Bitcoin, not under it, and Bitcoin does tend to move to the places where the most liquidity is laying, and that is currently most definitely the upside towards this major resistance level and also the range highs for Bitcoin. So let's see how this is going to develop. What I'm also seeing on the market now is that the US government shutdown is starting to have a little impact on the markets, definitely the stock market, and now the government shutdown is expected to last into later November. So there's no expectation that the US government shutdown is going to be ending anytime soon here. So I think this is going to probably cause some trouble in the next few days here, because more and more people are starting to see the effects of the US government shutdown. We have the Fed decision in September, which is off in December, which is also going to be affected by the US government shutdown and how much data there's available for the Fed to make a rate cut decision on. Now there's a 65% chance, according to Polymarket traders, that we are going to see another rate cut in December, but it is definitely not certain. It is very uncertain at this moment. So this is something we should keep our eyes on also. At the same moment, we have Trump making another big announcement today, and yesterday we saw the court hearing about the Trump tariffs. The Supreme Court is going to rule about the Trump tariffs. Are they illegal or not? Yesterday we saw the hearing, the arguments, and actually since then we have seen the chances of the Supreme Court ruling in favor of the Trump tariffs coming down by a lot. So it seems like for now that the tariffs are going to be declared illegal by the Supreme Court. Then there are still a lot of possibilities after that, but this is also going to be causing some uncertainty. But of course I will keep you guys up to date on the channel. And now I do want to discuss my Bitcoin trading position. Because like stated earlier, I entered 2 Bitcoin positions at the 103 and 100k level, both in a profit now, which is of course amazing. I do have my limit orders open, like stated here for Bitcoin, which do correlate with this green zone here where I do want to be accumulating if Bitcoin falls back below towards these levels. If you do want updates about my Bitcoin trading position here and my exact game plan in real time, so the fastest I can possibly share it, make sure to come over to the private VIP channel. You can find the link in the description on this update video, the VIP Telegram group, because there I'm sharing in real time what I'm seeing in the markets, updates on my trading position, and much more like you can see in my channel. So make sure to come over, come into the group, and come and join my channel. There are also a lot of other traders in this group like Crypto Rover and 5 professional other traders. So yeah, make sure to come and check it out. You can see how active it currently is. So very nice, very valuable. Make sure to come and check it out. Of course, in no way financial advice in any way. And now I do want to discuss Ethereum, because for Ethereum I'm seeing quite a big bounce on the moving average 50 trend line, which does look very promising and stronger than Bitcoin. I do also see that the drawdown is of course quite big, but now we are bouncing off some major support. And I think as long as Ethereum is going to hold here and Bitcoin will close the weekly candles above the 50 weekly moving average, it is actually looking very good for Ethereum also. And that is why I'm also in this Ethereum position. Like stated, my other L bank account had some problems, so I had to close my trades. Now I have a new Lbank account open where I have a new trading position open, and I just entered Ethereum at market order here, and I have a lot of limit orders open just in case. I don't want to enter my full position size now, because if I wanted to do so, I wanted to be doing here at this major move to the downside, of course, but I could not do it at that moment because my account was not ready. So I could not set my limit orders. Now I'm doing it on a new account, and we will be building up to a bigger Ethereum trading position once again, because I think there's still a lot of potential for Ethereum. An important level to be overtaking eventually is this level for the Ethereum versus Bitcoin pair. A big resistance once again, like we have seen all of the times in this major downtrend, because you could say that Ethereum versus Bitcoin is still in a downtrend from 2022 here, which is very interesting. But once we're going to break this level, you break the downtrend, and I think from there we could see a parabolic move for Ethereum. This is what I'm betting on with this upcoming Ethereum trading position. And if you do want to join me, make sure to come over to Lbank, because we just launched a new campaign. If you're going to use the link in the description on the update video, you will get redirected to exactly this page, where you can claim a lot of different benefits, like a 100 position voucher and some other big benefits like a 50% deposit bonus, which is of course absolutely insane. Make sure to come over to claim this offer now. It will be ending in 5 days, so make sure to be quick if you do want to be claiming the offer. No way financial advice. Trading is always very riskful, so make sure to manage your own positions. Make sure to do your own research. And from there, I do want to discuss this chart about Bitcoin and altcoins, because I was looking into this morning and I think it's looking quite insane. Others versus Bitcoin is now showing the biggest gap we've ever seen with the Bitcoin price itself. And we've only seen such big gaps 2 moments earlier for Bitcoin and altcoins basically. We've seen it in 2019, and we've seen during the COVID crash. And 2019 is actually showing a lot of comparison with what we're seeing now for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is seeing a big move higher, and altcoins are moving down. That is something we've also seen in this market, of course, with altcoins only moving down and Bitcoin moving higher. That is going to be our first scenario. Our second scenario is that altcoins are actually close to finding a bottom, like we've seen with COVID, and we could still see a major altcoin season. But both scenarios are going to depend if we are going to see another Bitcoin wave, because that is what needed. If you look at, for example, in COVID, this major divergence, what basically eventually shooted altcoins back up was a major Bitcoin move and a blow off top. So that is something we need to see again, in my opinion, to see altcoins outperforming, because also for Ethereum, I think another Bitcoin wave is needed, looking at the current market situation. Of course, we have also the ending of QT upcoming, so maybe that is going to ignite some more positive price action for Ethereum and altcoins. Let's see about exactly that. I do still think it is possible to see a window of outperformance for altcoins in the ending stage of the cycle. So let's see. I will keep you guys up to date on the channel, of course. And guys, that was it for today's update video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, come and watch and like my latest YouTube videos, and then I will see you guys within my next update video tomorrow.